Yeah, people, welcome back to our brand another episode 11 of the Prem podcast, man. Good day to everyone. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Today is Sunday evening. What we are hour away from that game, the regular girls game versus Guatemala over there in Central America, man. But to everyone that's tuning in here tonight, bless up to everyone that's passing through. Know what to do if you're new. Click that subscription. If you haven't do so, you know what to do, and like up the video, and big up Daniel Football Show, always supporting the Prem podcast over here. Go over his channel, and support his channel, subscribe and like the video. We're really working hard, to make those fine tunes in our channel so we can progress and, give you guys good work. So one of the best way to support both channels is to subscribe and like the video. You can share it, but subscribe and liking the video is really important. Bring the video far away, Oh, big up yourself. We are dude.
They don't know. And the Sunday. What's up, everybody? Don't know. Back at it again.
Whole lot of action happened this weekend with VAR.
That is a team every week.
Every week. It's like every week in the Champions League and in the Premier League and even all over the world. VAR is just a thing. I think in the French league on this week, I think they had about 6 red cards in the 9 fixtures.
6 red cards? That's crazy.
Yeah, a whole lot of red card issued, over there. Leon still unbeaten, but still winless, in the French league, rock bottom. Wonder if Arborview and Leon will get relegated from their league.
Oh boy.
But the big one of the weekend is Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspur. What a game at Etihad Stadium, and that game at Anfield. Trent Alexander-Arnold looked like a newborn player again. That right inverted really suited him, man. Urgent club, big credit goes out to him to change that little direction of where the player can go up and down and invert him inside the midfield where he could excel and, play to his game.
Yeah.
But what was your surprise of the weekend, though?
Surprise of the weekend? Tottenham. Tottenham look really. I thought they would have lost that game, but they pick up this fight in them.
Yeah.
Never say that mentality. Even though they're missing a lot of players, but they never look like they were out of that game. Like, once I saw City went 2-1 up, I thought Tottenham were just gonna run away. City was gonna run away with the game, but they stay in the game, and that's one of my surprises of the weekend.
My biggest surprise: Burnley giving Sheffield 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
That was a banger, just to see Burnley scoring 5. I don't think they scored 5 goals in their last 7 games because they had a whole lot of defeat coming before this game. I don't think they scored even 5 goals in those 7 games. So to come out and score 5 goals, first goal in 15 seconds, you can imagine a goal scored in the first 15 seconds of a game and it's not even in the top 5 fastest goal in the Premier League.
That's crazy.
Shane Long still hold that record. I think 7 seconds. I think the player from Bournemouth, Billing, that's his name. That tall player in the midfield,
Billing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the top 3. I think he's at 7 or 8 seconds too. I think the top 3 go the fastest scores in the Premier League. I think margin off by 10th of a second or 100th of a second. Yeah. But the big one, Manchester City versus Spurs, man. First attack, first goal for Spurs. Youngmin's son, after be a hero and then to be a villain. It took 137 seconds before he scored a own goal on the other side of the pitch. It's crazy, but the way how City started that game, Tottenham went up. 1-0. They made the first goal. Then Youngmin's son own goal, but right after City just attack after attack. They could have scored 4 goals. What do you think?
Yeah, Alvarez hit the post. I think Daku hit the bar too.
Yeah.
They had a couple of that
That
opportunities.
Erling Haaland miss.
Yeah, that one and
I think he missed 2 of them in the first half. How the hell he missed those?
No, but
It just wasn't his day. You know,
it wasn't.
he was just having one of them awful.
Show you that he's a
games.
human, you know. So
Huh?
that does show you that he's a human, you know.
Yeah.
He have his time when he doesn't really play good. But City, they had the opportunity. They should have won that game, but
they should have won the game easily.
Tottenham stay in the game. Yeah.
But that Bissouma, Bissouma mistake was trying to not make the player, and I think that led to another goal. I think it was that Foden goal it led to. I think it was a Foden goal.
It was a Grealish goal.
It was a Grealish goal.
Yeah, it was a Grealish goal. I think Bissouma was having a bad game. Like he was.
Yeah.
He had
a really bad game, Lo Celso, after coming back after injury, for the last couple of games, he looked really good in the midfield. Wonderful goal for him today. Really good goal. I mean, even though Doku wasn't having his best game, but he just looking like he just loved the one-on-one battle with any defenders. Poor Argentina was having a tough time. What a game to have, to mark Jeremy Doku, and then Grealish came on and then just start to run at him.
Because Grealish was kind of out of favor, Doku take his spot, so he have coming on.
Yeah.
He have something to prove, so yeah.
But City have never gone 3 games without a win. It's happened back in 2017, the last time they go 3 games. And City, this is their back-to-back home game. They drop points.
Yeah,
they drew with Liverpool. They drew with Liverpool, and now they drew with Tottenham. For a team that since the start of the year, they won 23 games straight. Win game at home, and then the last 2 games they're falling off. The Premier League is just something. Premier League is like a weather; it's just unpredictable.
Very unpredictable, and you never underestimate no team. Even Luton. Like, remember when the season just started, we were saying we don't see where Luton is gonna get their game, and they win 2 games so far. Even when they went to United, they give United some problem when they went to Trafford. So this is just show that the Premier League is the best league in the world, and take granted.
Yeah. They said that City only gone behind at home since the start. 21 minutes in total. They have went behind in any game start of the year. City have some crazy home stats. They just don't lose at home. Liverpool is the next team. They haven't lost at home for like a year. They win. They 100% win in the league continue. But Rodri going to miss that game at Villa Park. Big miss.
Big miss, because Villa have been very good at home this season. And you can see when Rodri is not there, you can see that City really miss a player. So that's going to be a very difficult game, because I can see Aston Villa giving them a lot of problems in that midfield.
Yeah. It's going to be a big miss for Manchester City. Calvin Phillips, is he out though in the summer?
No, I know. Pep doesn't rate him. I don't see what was the sense they signed him. Pep just don't rate him, and I think he's just not good enough though. He's not good enough.
Yeah. But Rodri is that monster in the midfield. He just can't get him out. Rodri is looking at the N'Golo Kante, not like physically running up and down, but he's doing it with his mind, intelligence play. He just look unstoppable. To mark in the midfield. He's intelligent to getting around, and he's not really quick, but the way how he read the game.
Yeah.
He just cover a lot of spaces around, with his mind, and when you ever see them that really play smart football like that, It's remind me of a little bit about Andre Pirlo. Not the quickest, not the roughest. Would not do dirty tackles, but his mind just by getting in around. Sergio Busquets is the next one. Xabi Alonso, you could name it all. These players, Tony Cruz, very intelligent player, mark the space, with their mind and all of that. But the Premier League is winding up. You could see that, we have I think we have 4 games, 5 games leave before the turnover to the return of the teams play again. But Arsenal, is leading Manchester City by 3 points. City is playing some catch up, but you just can't write them off until you get down there until March. You have to be grinding out results. But we're going to move on, and talk about, your team, Chelsea versus Brighton, man. Crazy game at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea's back again in the top half. Chelsea not before this game, Chelsea never won a game against Brighton at home in the Premier League since 2019. What's the issue with you and Brighton? Why you haven't beat them since 2019 in the Premier League at home?
Oh, Brighton does improve since they came in. Since they start finishing the top half of the league, they have given us a very difficult problem from Graham Potter the year. Yeah, they just been giving me a lot of problems. I think the last time we beat them was when Hazard was there. But yeah, they just giving us a lot of problem, and then with all the feistiness with the players, trying to get Caicedo from over the summer, so that really we take Potter away from them, that too. So there's a lot of thing there, So
yeah. One thing I have to give Chelsea for is that fighting spirit, from getting a red card, and still manage to get a penalty. That Modric, was it a penalty for you? Was it a shoulder challenge that was really strong?
That Modric. Miller did fall him, but I think it was soft. But I just I can see why the referee give it. Yeah, because Miller did not get the ball at all.
Yeah.
So I could see, but it's soft for me though. Kind of soft. Yeah.
Look, Chelsea, this is getting out of hand. Every game it seems like there's a player is going to miss the next game. It's from the coach to the captain, to Thiago Silva, all these players.
The team is inexperienced. Look at the average age of the squad. I think take away Thiago Silva and Ryan Sterling, we will be averaging 24, 23.
Yeah.
That's the squad. You have to be real. The squad is.
Would you took Raheem Sterling off the field today? Why?
Yeah,
Why?
Have a poor game.
He had a poor game.
He was just keep on running up in the losing the ball. He was having a poor game. Yeah. And defending, we need that someone who's gonna be very disciplined and stay back and defend. And I don't think that's Sterling game. Yeah. That was a very good change from Pochettino.
Yeah. What the hell Gallagher is doing? He got 2 yellow cards in the space of 14 to 16 minutes. And then Caicedo came on. Caicedo, almost got a second yellow card. You could have ended the game with 9 outfield men, 8 outfield players.
Before Gallagher got his yellow card, I was talking to one of my boy. I was like, yo, Gallagher need to calm down. He need to calm down. Boom, Gallagher gets a yellow card. And then a couple days after, I said, yo, Gallagher gets sent off, and I said, yo, put it in, need to take him off. Don't man there. It's soft, but it didn't win the ball.
The second one was rational. He didn't got any of the ball.
Yeah.
But I think that Caicedo one where he ran in the back of the player, that could have been a red card. The second, what the hell he's doing? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know where they get this feistiness. I understand they're young, they want to prove, but we have to calm down. The team have to calm down. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And then it's like we're playing so good, and then we get a red card, and then we back against the wall. You get what I'm saying? It's like we're giving ourselves so much work to do. Like I don't get it. Just crazy.
But as I said, Chelsea is back in the top half of the table. Chelsea sitting 10 position and 19 points. This is Chelsea. Your fifth win of the campaign. Not a pretty good record at home against teams that outside of the top six. The top six clubs. I think he lost a couple of games there, but you have to give Chelsea that 3 points today. They fight and just to crawl their way over the line. Edge it out. You could see what it means, to put a team at the end of the game. The fans, the players. It was a well-deserved, victory for the team overall. Everyone can sleep well. Now there's Premier League midweek, right?
Yeah, I think we played United.
You have a midweek game, right? Who you guys played?
We play you guys, Manchester United, Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday.
December the 6th. December the 6th is the game. There's this guy, at work. He's I think he's a Dutch. He's a Dutch, and he supports Chelsea, man. Every time when Chelsea drop a points or anything, this man smoke more and more cigarette extra. He used to probably go like a 10 or 15 a day. This man will smoke probably like 20, 25 after Chelsea lose a game. But yeah, it's a banter between me and him. Whenever United lose or Chelsea, but but moving on, Gunners, 2-1 victory, at Emirates Stadium against Wolves. Not impressive, in the second half. It's kind of get a little bit ugly, in that last, I would say, 10 minutes of the game. Wolves got their way back. Cunha, wonderful goal though. Even Saka goal, it was really, really wonderful. Martin Odegaard, that's an Odegaard goal on the edge of the box, slotted in with his left foot. But Arsenal could have easily, when they scored those first two goals, I was like, okay, maybe this game going to turn out to what they played Lens, in the Champions League midweek. And they're like, one day they're gonna go 6. But Gary O'Neill is a real good coach. His team is well organized, hard to break down. And you have to give credit to him and how he let his team find back their way in the game after conceded 2 goals early. But Arsenal not managed to kill that game at home. I think they played Fulham at home where Fulham could have won it with 10 men. Nottingham Forest that game they could have dropped points. They not managed to kill that game, and they just cannot continue like this. You saw what they do, Lens. They just scored. But they in the Premier League they not managed to get more wins like they did last season, comfortable at home. I don't know what is going on with Arsenal. Playing good, not saying they're not playing good, but just to get extra goals to kill the game, third, fourth goal, it's just not happening for them. In the Premier League at home. What you think? About the Arsenal game.
I wasn't really watching Arsenal again, but I started watching it in the last couple probably like on the 60 minutes. In the second half, I wasn't able to watch the first game, but I heard that they when they in the 20 minutes they played really good. They scored 2 goals, but and then I started watching the game in the second half, and then Wolves got back that equalizer. Wolves was putting on more pressure and stuff like that. But I think the quality in the Premier League compared to the Champions League this season is different. You get me? Like as I said in the Tottenham game, teams don't give up. The quality. Like playing teams from French league and then Sevilla have been one of they're not having a good season in the Spanish league, and you know what I'm saying. So Fulham almost did the same thing to them early in the season. Nottingham Forest score on them early in the season, gave them problems. So the league is not come. They went away to Chelsea. They struggled to beat Chelsea too. So the league is very competitive. Every year the team improve. So Arsenal, I don't think Arsenal improved their team from last. Otherwise than just adding Declan Rice, I don't think Alvarez is. Even though Alvarez scored a couple goals the other day and won, I don't think Alvarez is good enough. I don't think he better than squad. I think Arsenal squad is worse than than last season. I think they miss Shaka, they miss Partey,
Yeah.
and I don't. Yeah, so I think their squad is not as much as they're still on top of the league, but they're not playing the best set of football like what they
Yeah.
was last season. But
Yeah.
they're still getting the job done because I think they that experience from last season, they still have a
Yeah.
little bit more experience. So I think they'll be all right, but I don't think they're gonna have enough to win the league.
This is the first time Arsenal are winning, 3 games this season on the bounce in the Premier League, beating Burnley at home, beating Brentford away and beating Wolves at home. And, Gabriel Jesus, started, I think, his 4th game on the bounce, since he came back from injury, his 3rd game, on the bounce started. People saying, Arsenal should get a striker. Eddie Nketiah missed that goal, that chance to kill the game off in 80 something minute, where he hit the post. But why people kept saying, Arsenal still need a striker. Arsenal still need a striker. I don't get it when you have 2 number 9s.
I don't think they need a striker. If they want to go, to that next level to start winning the Champions League, the Premier League on a every year basis. Then yeah, they need a Erling Haaland, a Harry Kane. You get what I'm saying? They need that established
Someone
world
to give
class.
them 20 Premier League goals.
Yes, every season if they want to go to that level. But I feel like Arteta doesn't want to have that in his team. I think he like that floating players around, and Nketiah, Jesus. I don't think he want a natural number 9. That's why he got in Average. Average can play through the middle as well. I don't think Arteta want a number 9.
What do you think a Robin van Persie will do to this team? I say, between a Robin van Persie or a Dennis Bergkamp, what do you think, between those players, who would Arteta more favor?
I think you more favor Van Persie because Van Persie can play. Van Persie is very link up play, come deep, play in between the lines. Van Persie never was a speedy striker. He was more like a what's the name striker? More like he was very clever, very clever.
Yeah, very clever. Yeah.
I feel like Bergkamp would be more like a striker.
Van Persie is a player that always try to get the ball on the last man at half time, beating that offside trap. He got offside a lot in his career, just like, Filippo Inzaghi. I think they one of the 2 players that have done it the best, to beat the offside trap over the years. I believe if VAR was in their time, they probably would have get 20 goals minus off what they scored overall. As they scored so many goals, close calls, with referee on the offside line. But I think Arsenal, they just have to keep rolling. They just have to keep going. They can win the league, but they just have to be a little bit more consistent. You just like when Saka, Martinelli had an excellent game today. When Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, when these players are quiet, that's when Arsenal look beatable. They just don't look like they can score goals, anything. They just look flat. But they just need to have their players really pump up every week if they want to go on and win this Premier League. And Eddie Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus going to have to chip in a little bit more, on the goal scoring. I think Gabriel Jesus is on farm. I think he scored 4 goals in the Champions League, but not in the Premier League. I think he had 1 goal, something like that in the Premier League. Was that against United? His last Premier League was against United too. So, Arsenal are going to need some help between Eddie, and Gabriel. But, we're going to move on, from London, go to St. James Park. United beat Newcastle United beat Man United 1-0. This is a very horrible performance. I've never seen something like this before in years, since probably this is a very bro, I don't know. This result was just shit overall, bro. This is a disaster. If we have to give thanks for Harry Maguire, he's been playing out of his socks and for United, over the last couple probably months now, since he came back into the squad. Him and Luke Shaw, I think they made some crucial block, in the game, on Saturday, but the coach going to have to take a lot of responsibility. you know, and what this team is playing. You know, this team is they're just not running. You know, the team, there's no fight. You know, there's no fight. You know, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you know, that goal, I think he was sleeping. You know, even when we play Galatasaray, you know, just not watching his back. You know, he
Yeah,
can't.
always ball watch.
Yeah, you know, you remember when I think last season when we played Arsenal at Emirates, you know, he got caught out on the back post. You know, he just
I
so
think
many
that's a
times.
weakness for him. He always
Yeah,
ball.
that's his weakness. You know, when players running behind him and that ball come, you know, over his head. I think that is one of his biggest weakness.
Yeah.
Scott, I see a lot of people, you know, criticizing Scott McTominay. Said that, you know, whenever he played, United is playing with one man down, but you just can't look at this United team and blame one person. You have to blame, you know, the whole team. It's a collective, you know, of players. You know, probably 8, 9 players that's really underperforming. You know, this is the worst I've seen Marcus Rashford. It's the worst I've seen him. You know, look, Marcus Rashford. You know, like whenever, you know, when you watch a JPL, you know, and you see players that, you know, come from Arnett Garden, that, you know, local junglers, they come under the heaviest criticism than, you know, players that don't live inside of the neighborhood. Marcus Rashford, you know, as a local man, you know, as a youth that came up through the system, to be honest, he has to do better, to be honest. You know, you have to galvanize his team. You know, you have to show some spirit. Bro, if you're not scoring, if you're not assisting, if you're not beating players 1v1, you have to show hard work, hunger. You have to represent the badge.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't feel like, you know, with like 3 assessment, like, and like a coach, you know, want to be a coach, you know, recruitment, tactical and man management. You know, recruitment, I think Ten Hag, you know, been poor in that era. Who you know, the players that who he bought, who did he improve? You know, none of those players improved. Probably Lisandro, you know, Lisandro is the only player that came in that he bought that really playing on top of his game.
Oh,
Lisandro, you know,
yeah,
the player that, yeah,
yeah,
you know, so he's not. He think he spent what, quarter million, half a billion, you know, in transfer window since he came. So he bought a lot of players, you know, the young kid in the midfield, Mainu, I think this is his second Premier League start. He looked really good, but, you know, you could see that he don't have that pace to get, you know, like that when N'Golo Kante was on top of his game, you know, when he got beaten up the field, he have that pace to get back, you know, and fully recover, you know, and get behind the ball. But, you know, Main was a young kid. He don't have that. You know, I think he's gonna have to work on his position awareness in the midfield. Yeah. We spoke about it earlier. As a midfielder, if you don't have the pace, you know, your position awareness has to be really good. You know, Anthony Martial. It's just Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford is really looking like the same player. It's hard to say, but this is a man, you know, scored so many goals for United last season. You know, this is a man that they said he was world class, but what happened? Like, he just dropped off a farm way off than where, you know, he was a year ago. You know, I just couldn't believe it, man. You want to say anything?
Rashford, I don't know. I like Rashford as a player, but confidence is on the floor. Like, I don't know what's going on with the kid. His body language, you know, nothing. Like, his work ethic, everything. Like, he looks like a player that doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what's gonna go on with
I
him.
thought when he got that penalty kick against Everton, you know, and Bruno gave him the ball, like, you know, Bruno said, you know, he's out of touch, he's not scoring, give him the ball. Yeah, I think that would have probably bring back some life in him. Yeah. Nothing. It just like seems like he got the worst.
Yeah, like, you know, turn a corner, you know, and
yeah.
I don't know. Last season he balled out, you know, maybe he played just to get that new contract, you know, and then after
Church
that,
now $50,000 a week.
So it's like, you guys gonna get rid of him? Yeah. Like, who's gonna buy him?
I don't know.
He's on a
whole lot of money.
The only hope for him is that he have a very good Euros. You know, and then somebody come in and cash in on him. But I don't see it. And Tengan look like he's out of his depth. He's making too many mistakes. Yeah.
Too much mistakes. I think that Jadon Sancho, that Jadon Sancho issues, I think that could have dealt with it in a better way, to be honest. He's just frozen out of the squad. We don't know what happened behind scenes, but could have dealt with it better.
I have to take some of the blame. He's throwing too many of the players on the bus. Like, what's going on with Rafa?
Varane, Varane is out of touch now.
And he's contradicting himself because he take away the captaincy from Maguire, and you would think that he doesn't want nothing to do with Maguire after he does that. And now look who's in this team playing Maguire. You get what I'm saying? So it's like he just I don't know.
But Newcastle, you have to give Newcastle a lot of credit. And this is their third game with the same starting 11. Really playing high energy football. You could see that they're playing for their manager. They're playing for the club. United and Newcastle players totally different. Their attitude towards the game.
Yeah.
Really good.
Very impressive. They're home. They came from Champions League during the midweek. I think they're tired. Same squad, same players. They're missing so many key players on the squad. Yeah. I don't know how they do it. Their pressing game is on a different level.
They're on a different level. Most people, when Tonali got, that suspension, because of gambling breach, think that Newcastle was going to fall off a little bit in the midfield, but they stepped up a notch. That young kid, 17-year-old local born, Lewis Miley stepped in the midfield, and it seems like, they're going out and waste of 50 million, and Tonali, when they could have easily, bring him in earlier in the season.
Yeah.
I think United going to have to do that to, get, like Menu is a young kid that, in the academy, bring through some more players.
He is, but the problem with what Manchester United have is that nobody is playing good around him. Like, everybody's out of form.
That's the thing.
And I think Casemiro would have been a very good role model and a mentor to have him. Casemiro is there. But you can't really look at McTominay as a role model. McTominay is not that good enough in his role to be, Bruno is more like a role model, but Bruno is more like an attacking midfielder. You get what I'm saying? I'm talking about someone that play in the same position as him, so they can tie them. Amrabat, Tenga come like he doesn't rate Amrabat. That's another signing that he gets.
That's another signing. Yeah.
Ericsson is old. Who else? Yeah. So he's like, I don't know.
If you could get a really good system, this United team will be a quality team, because Scott McTominay scored 7 goals of the year so far for Scotland. He scored 4 goals, so far for United. If you can get a system and put these players in it, you would probably get a best out of them. I know they're not top notch, but they can do better. Come on, they can do better.
So you're saying that means the coach is the problem?
Coach, yeah, of course the coach is a problem.
I don't think so. The coach is a problem. I know things I'm getting a lot of stuff wrong, but I don't think the coach is a problem. You know why I said I don't think the coach is a problem?
It's not down to just him still.
You guys have players there from Jose Mourinho. Those same players sacked Jose. Those same players sacked Van Dijk. Those same players sacked Oli. They didn't listen to Rodney.
Yeah,
I know the same thing. 5 coaches. And you want to give these players another chance again? Nah, I think it's
not saying they deserve any chances, but I'm saying what we got. If you have a really good, if you give Pep Guardiola this team for the next 7 months, these players will play. You don't think so?
He would have struggled. He would have get rid of everybody.
Nah, look, I'm just saying, just give him.
None of these players can play Pep Bob.
I knew that, but I'm saying you would have probably seen a little bit more better than what you see now.
Yeah.
Look at Jurgen Klopp. The team that he brought. He came in and see at Liverpool. I don't think none of those players are still in the squad.
Yeah.
That's 7-8 years ago. None of those players are still in the squad. The last player I think got sold was Anderson.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, United going to have to fix it. United is the only team in the Premier League that haven't draw a game yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What
United.
what does the thing that say?
Just that we don't have that attitude to come back in game. Whenever we 2-0 or whatever it is, we're just not going to get the result.
Yeah, it's either to lose or to win.
It's either we lose or win. That's it. That's it. That's it. We're going to move on. Rock and roll from Newcastle. The big excited game, Liverpool versus Fulham. Very excited one. You thought Bobby Reed, the Jamaican international, won the game for them. But what happened, man? Trent, Endo.
I don't know. I was watching that game at the same time I was watching Chelsea game at the same time, and I couldn't believe it when I see Fulham was 3-all. At one moment Fulham was 3-2, and
3-2, yeah.
I was like, get in, come on Fulham. And Liverpool attack one more time when they score back.
Yo, when I saw that Endo goal, the midfielder, when I saw that, I said Liverpool win.
Even though they was gonna come
I said
back.
Liverpool win.
Yeah.
I said Liverpool win, but it's over what? They're 52 years, since Fulham haven't scored two or more goals in the Premier League, away to Liverpool, and they scored 3. Liverpool have some defensive error, defensive issue, letting Fulham score 3 goals at home. Liverpool is the only team in the league still have the 100% win rate in the Premier League.
At home?
And
At home?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought
at home. At home, and letting Fulham score 3 goals. But as I said, Liverpool, when you see Liverpool is playing like this at home, flying high at home, winning games, not drawing, not giving up nothing at home, they on a roll. They mean business, They're going to do a lot of stuff this season. It's just that if they can get Darwin Núñez, put the ball in the back of the net, it will be a more stronger Liverpool team. He got that opportunity today, but one thing you can take away from Darwin is that hard work, that work rate. It's just the bare minimum for South American players, especially the Uruguayan players. They never stop running.
Yeah.
They never stop running. They work.
That's very hard work, and you just need to find that composure. He do everything right, and then when at the last moment to score, he missed the ball. So you just need to work on that.
Yeah, But one thing though, Alexander Trent, I've seen a lot of comparison between him, and your captain, Reece James. You think that right now Trent Alexander-Arnold have the edge over Reece James?
No.
You think if he fully fit, he will start over Trent in the England team?
Yeah. Especially Southgate is a defensive coach. He like when his team able to very solid at the back. So I think based off Reece James can defend better. And Reece James is good going attacking too, But based off of what Southgate won, I think he will work with Reece James. But
so what about Kyle Walker? If it's 4 at the back?
I think Kyle Walker is the first choice. I think Reece is the second, and I think Trent.
You think
but I think Trent be playing in the middle though.
You think playing Trent and Rice in the midfield and Bellingham in front of them will be a strong England midfield?
I've not seen they played a very good quality team with that, so I can't really judge that. I see them on paper, it is, but like if they're playing, I would have loved to see.
It's going to be a big Euro this next summer, in Germany. Yeah. It's going to be a big Euro, but look, to be honest, Phil Foden don't seems like a player that will give you 100% consistent work and goals, assists like what Bellingham will do for you in that number 10 role. What Bellingham is doing at Real Madrid, he has to play in that number 10 position for England. There's no one else should play in. The only player that deserve to be in that number 10 is Maddison. But Bellingham, he brings something different to the game, playing in that number 10 position. So, maybe England don't have that CDM, where they will really match to match with Rice. I think, with Trent, passing range, and Declan Rice could tackle for him and all of that. I think it would be a good duel, playing that double pivot with Bellingham in front of them. That would be a excellent midfield if they can work that combination together. So that's why I was asking about Reece James and Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I think they can try it, but I just feel like against a better team, they will get overrun in the middle with Trent lack of ability to defend. That's what I believe.
Yeah, it takes different tasks. As a man like you, will play right back and midfield. In the past, it takes a different skill. To play in the midfield when players running off a shoulder than when players running off a shoulder and the right back position, as they only can stay on the touchline. Players can go 360 around you. They only can do it inside when you on the line, the touchline, when you're playing at the right back position. But I feel like Trent is on top of his game. But Bournemouth, at Vitality Stadium, 2-2. Aston Villa drop points. Big 2 points drop at Vitality Stadium. What do you think that spell when you have Manchester City next in midweek?
That's a very they're not so good as away as though they are very good at home. But Bournemouth have been picking up a lot of good.
Bournemouth is playing. He's playing. Solanke is scoring again.
Yeah, Bournemouth is playing really good. So I'm not so. It's not a bad result to get because Bournemouth turned a corner a little bit. Liam Bailey got on the score sheet too. He got his start in this game.
Yeah, so I think this is his first away goal for Aston Villa in the Premier League.
Really?
Yeah, I think all 8 Premier League goals comes at home against the Villa Park.
Okay.
Yeah, really good goal though. Really good goal.
I didn't see it. I wasn't watching this game. So
really good goal. And Watkins, scored 8 goals. I think Aston Villa went 2-1 up. The Brazilian Carlos, the centre back, scored, but they waved it off. I think they said it was offside. And then Solanke scored, but Watkins managed to get that header and gave his team a point. Coming from from the South Coast, going up back to the Midlands, waiting for Manchester City, but Watkins scored 8 goals of his season. I think this is 12 goals overall. He's scoring goals. That's what he needs as a striker, going inside the Euros. I know he's going to be on the bench for England, but, he's having a really good season. But it will all up to them, coming midweek against the champions will be in town. That's where Villa will need all those goals for him. Hope Liam Bailey can get another start. I hope, But I think Aston Villa dropped the ball, where they could have gone and get another 3 points. And just to close that gap, because if Aston Villa won that game, they would have jumped in 3rd position above Manchester City, who drew today. Because City's on 30, Aston Villa is on 29 points. That's a lot. During this time of the season.
How much points?
29. They're 1 point behind City.
Really?
Yeah.
Aston Villa? Yes, sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. 1 point behind City. I said if they won this game, they could have go in 3rd position. And if they won it, they would have level with Liverpool and 31. Yeah, but they could have easily 2 points behind leaders, Arsenal. It's let's not count them out as it, but just give them the benefit of the doubt. They're managing. Look, Unai Emery is managing these players really good, as he had a set of players he played in the conference and a set of players he played in the Premier League. So they are not really burned out. He's really managing his players. So, let's see what they're going to do, but cannot write them off. But West Ham, Crystal Palace, London derby, 1-1 at the London Stadium. Very even game, not much in it, but, West Ham, unbeaten in 5 games in our competition. West Ham is really doing good, in Europe, having a really good season. Remember, West Ham started the season unbeaten in their first 5 games, I think, in the Premier League.
They kind of gone a little bit quiet recently.
Yeah, they kind of drop off, but they it's like seems like they picking up back those other results. They at one point they drop out of the top 10. Now they are in 9th position. And 21 points. Just 1 point behind Brighton at 8th position. Can West Ham though? Question though, can West Ham get in around one of those European spots? Except not talking about the Premier League conference or do you see them as that team? Because Kudus, the Ghanaian player, is really scoring.
I think they can make it in the Conference League. Depends on how deep they go they're in the Europa League, yes. So it all depends. I haven't really watched that much of West Ham this season. I think the only game that I really see them is when they played Chelsea and they beat us. But I've not really seen too much of West Ham this season. But I think depends on how far they go. Is Mikel Antonio come back as that? Because otherwise on him, who really is playing their striker role? Like, they're gonna need goals.
He will be back in late December. That's what they said. A couple of weeks from now.
Maybe the Conference League, but it's gonna be very difficult because it's gonna be difficult.
Because Aston Villa is occupying one of those free spots that teams used to come and grab.
Yeah.
Aston Villa, but look, when you have Tottenham, United, and Chelsea, who is not even in the Champions League spot, and those teams will normally go on and take, when those teams don't qualify for the Champions League, those teams will take the Europa spot and the conference, so it's going to be really hard. And then you have Newcastle that we didn't call, and Brighton, who's playing really good, so yeah, it's going to be really difficult. And then Brentford is sniffing around. Brentford is always a team since they came up, been consistently playing in that top half of the table. But the big one, at Turf Moor, Burnley, Sheffield, 5-0 to Vincent Kompany, man. Parlekin bottom, got smashed. But it's a well-deserved victory. I think this game, bottom at the table clash. I think I think one team who have the worst defensive record playing against another team that have the worst scoring record. Burnley have the worst scoring record in the league, and Sheffield have the worst defensive record in the league, man. But that's why I said, two teams that really playing really poor, and to see Burnley scored 5 without conceding, it's a hell of a job. You could see that this team, they can play. It's just that they don't have the quality to go toe-to-toe as they want to play in the Premier League with the big boys.
Yeah.
These fixtures always have games. In the Championship, Burnley won, at home against Sheffield, and Sheffield beat them 5-2 back in the return leg in the Championship. So these fixtures always have a few goals in it, But before, as I said before this game, Burnley, was 7 defeats in a row. So if Vincent Kompany loses, would he get the sack? You think he would have get the sack?
I think he would have deserved to get the sack. He would have deserved to get the sack.
Yo, it's crazy, man. This game was a hell of a game. It was a tug against, that player got even red card for Sheffield, Matt Burney, the Scottish man. But I'm saying though, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what next, with this coach, what next for this coach, will he?
But they just don't have any money, because you have to pay him off, hire a new coach. So, maybe they just upset their fate. They might just go down, So,
yeah,
could be that.
The next game, Sean Dice get the better of Steve Cooper 1-0 at Forest at the City Ground, in Nottingham Forest. Big win, after coming off that 3-0 loss at home to United, in that 10 points got deducted, and just to picked up there where they left from before that 10 points deduction. Everton was on a little roll, to be honest, but you could see that Everton, they're good of a team. Before they played United, they were 4 games unbeaten in all competition, 3 wins and a draw, so beating Nottingham Forest, it's a good step in the right direction for Sean Dyche. He's on 7 points now, just 2 points away from safety, behind Luton Town, and they are 6 points. Bournemouth is moving away from the pack. There's 6 points from safety, So they're moving away from the puck, But the Luton Town and Everton, that's where it stopped. If Bournemouth going to pick up those 3 points, they will always be safe, but it's just going to be between those 4 teams for me this season.
Oh.
Luton, Everton, Burnley, Sheffield.
What about Nottingham Forest?
Nottingham, yeah, but
you don't think Nottingham Forest? I think Nottingham Forest might go down this season.
I don't understand though. They got beat the last weekend, 3-1, 3-2 against Brighton. That was their first defeat at home. That's what I'm saying. They kind of
they have a very good home record, but
yeah, they're not losing game. They draw a lot of games. They draw a lot of games in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest. Tell you how much game Nottingham Forest drew so far. Nottingham Forest drew 7 games. They drew 7 games and won 3. So yeah, I'm not sure yet about Nottingham Forest. Just leave it as they were Luton, Everton, Burnley, and Sheffield.
They have some because they got a very big squad. So they have a lot of good.
They still have a lot of players.
Yeah, so and what's his name? He's a good coach too. The coach
Steve Cooper.
Yeah, he's a good coach. Very experienced. So yeah.
The last game of the fixtures, match 10, Brentford, won against Luton Town. I don't think Luton Town put up any challenge in this game. But Brentford, Brentford is finding they're finding something back, from the Premier League. But they started the season really poor. Brentford went through a spell, where they only won 1 games in 10, in their first opening fixtures in our competition, at the start of the season. But now, they won 4 games in their last 6 Premier League games. 12 goals scored, 7 goals conceded, and 2 clean sheets in all that. So Brentford is kind of finding back some form, to be honest. But Luton Town, Luton Town is a team where they will win today, and it take them a next month and a half before they get back a positive results. That just not going to be enough to get them over the line. They have to be a little bit more proactive, more.
The quality of the squad is not up to standard. Yeah.
I mean, they're still a championship squad.
Mm-hmm.
They're still a champion. So they Luton Town, it took them 5 games in their first Premier League to win a game. Then after, it took them another 6 games to win another Premier League game. So. And they have 2 big home games coming up. Home to Arsenal and home to City. So,
I mean, as I said, this is the Premier League. You never know. Never be surprised. So I'm not gonna say that's a guaranteed lose. So let's see. When the game kick off, we will know.
Yeah. What people, big up on yourself. We have come to the end. Quick touch and go of the Premier League episode, Prem Podcast episode 11. People, everyone. If you're new, you know what to do, man. Go over there and like up Daniel Football Show. Click that subscription bell and like his videos. Also over here, really appreciate everyone. As next will be up the extra time talk, over by Daniel Football Show will be up, thinking about 15 minutes time from now. So we'll, start that stream around 6:15, 6:20. So come over there and support the extra time talk. Bless up on yourself, everyone. Really appreciate it. Any last say to the fans?
No, people. This is the usual Prem Podcast. That get to the gritty for today. December run. The top. They have some top games coming up in December run. So Manchester United, off Manchester United, Chelsea midweek for the Premier League. We will be talking about that next weekend.
Yeah. So. Too busy in the midweek. Too busy.
Yeah, but hopefully Chelsea can get that dub in the Premier League. I don't know. Kiki,
too
man.
Busy, man, to get that to do a Prem Podcast in the midweek. Too busy. We're not established.
I think I'm after that. Whatever, after that game, I'm gonna give my perspective on that game or whatever happened during that game. on my channel, so you don't know, but that's it, they know people.
Yeah, man. Bless upon yourself, man. People really appreciate it. We out.